struggle with, sometimes to the point of just absolutely crippling anxiety. With just crippling anxiety, especially that spikes at night. That spikes at night. By the way, I mean, you guys know that I like and love, sorry if you hear my sweet puppy, if you hear my sweet puppy, my puppy, Apple, my sweet puppy, Apple, she might make a few noises here and there, but, you guys know that I love anything and everything vampire, or just anything fantasy in general. Anything fantasy like, so vampires, witches, werewolves, things of the sort. I love, but I've been getting the feeling that I need to go back and watch some Buffy the Vampire Slayer. A little Sarah Michelle Gellar, a little David Brennas, who can get it any day of the week. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. I think I'm just gonna start implementing, blank can get it any day. I think that that's what I'm gonna start doing, is talk about, in every video, I'm gonna mention who can get it any day. Just because I feel like we're on that level with one another, where we should be able to talk about who can get it any day of the week. I've already made it very clear that Damon Salvatore can get it any day, but please, my friend, don't get it twisted. It is Damon over Stefan, but it's definitely Paul over Ian. If that makes sense. Yeah. Because if you can't tell by my witty, very dry, resting bitch face, dry, sarcastic self, I thoroughly enjoy that in others. And if you've ever listened to Paul Wesley speak, he is very much that way. And I very much appreciate that. Although I very much appreciate who Ian seems to be as well. But anyways, in this bedtime Lofi, I just wanted to ramble on with you and do some personal attention. So yeah. So David Brennas, who plays Angel in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, can get it any day of the week. But speaking of, I was doing the anxiety spiking at night, and it reminded me of Spike, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Anyone? Spike, the vampire. Sorry, my tube drives me crazy. At night, my nose runs, it just agitates. By the way, I've just started pulling my tube back up into my ponytail because there's no point. Like, my hair's longer than my tube, but if you guys know how long my hair is, it's very, very long. But the tube also is very long, so I might as well just pull it back into my ponytail. Feeding tube ASMR. Let me just ask you one question. Can these other ASMR artists, can these other bitches offer you what I can offer you? Who else can offer you feeding tube ASMR? Just out of curiosity. does make some tingly sounds, I cannot lie. The tube itself. Oh, let's see. Really, this plastic part is better. I would do some port ASMR for you, but it's not accessed right now. So you can see, like, this is what the port looks like underneath my skin. So when you aren't seeing the needle, like the big band-aid patch, that's what you see. So it's just like a lump underneath my skin. A lump underneath the skin. It's just a big plastic piece underneath there. But when that's accessed, like, I can tap on the needle and the bandaging and such. It makes really relaxing sounds, actually. So I'm really such a catch over here as an ASMR artist. I can offer you so many things. We could be so good together. I could offer you feeding tube and port catheter ASMR. Again, these other ASMR artists just cannot offer you that. They just can't. They just can't. They just cannot. But if you never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it was so good. I loved it. And if you don't know David Burness, who can get it any day that I'm talking about, he plays Booth off of Bones. He plays Booth on the show Bones. On Bones. What have I watched or been watching recently? So I'm watching right now Loki, which is so good. I'm only 2 episodes in. I'm only two episodes in, but that's what I'm watching right now is Loki. Tom Hiddleston can get it any day. He also, he can just get it any day of the week. He can. And also, Owen Wilson is looking really damn good right now. So he can also get it, I guess, if he wants to. He can. I need to retake my tube. It's coming up. This tape isn't holding super well. This tape is not holding super well. So I'm watching Loki. That's super good. Really funny. I just finished, which I've been watching The Mandalorian since it came out. So actually, I think I started watching The Mandalorian when season 2 came out. And I absolutely adore it. But I hadn't watched the last episode of season 2 for some reason. So I watched that last night, and that was so good. So I'm keeping up with Loki every week, and I'm keeping up with American Dad every week, which, if you guys know, American Dad is just about the only thing it feels like sometimes that I look forward to in the week that pulls me through. I love American Dad so much. I love it. I love Roger. This season is just hysterical. My favorite episode so far this season has been when Francine told Roger that his personas are just not very impressive anymore, and he just doesn't quite have the touch anymore to it that he used to. And so, in retaliation, he brought back a old persona of this little girl that he came up with years ago. It felt like kind of a spin-off John Benet Ramsey. And so he brought out this persona that he came up with years ago of this little girl that he was, and then he had, just got, I guess, bored with her, whatever it was, so he just stopped being her. So he kind of just stopped. And anyways, no one knows what happened to that persona. No one knows what happened to her. No one knows. And so he decides to bring back this persona and takes Francine to the park as he's dressed up as this old persona of his, this little girl. And someone recognizes her and calls the authorities, and Francine goes to prison for kidnapping, and holding this persona hostage, this young girl, but it's just Roger, right? It was just Roger. But anyways, he's so vindictive. He's such a vindictive little shit. I love Roger. He's my favorite. So anyways, in retaliation of Francine basically saying that he was boring these days, he sent her to prison. So super funny. So I'm keeping up with Loki every week. I'm keeping up with American Dad. I am watching Game of Thrones. I'm in season 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Sorry if you just heard my puppy. Apple. I think people have asked me many of times, Maddie, who is your favorite Game of Thrones character? And it's definitely Tyrion. It's definitely Tyrion. He is just hysterical. And then I also think, like, Jaime Lannister really makes me giggle. He really makes me giggle. So I really enjoy him. And he's starting to make some better choices. Hang on. But does anyone else feel like Jaime looks like he reminds me of Prince Charming on Shrek 2? That's who he looks exactly like to me. That's who he reminds me of. Clearly, especially in like season 3, early season 3, he's nowhere near Prince Charming. But anyways, I love Tyrion. He is very sarcastic and quick-witted, and I just enjoy him. Enjoy him. So, Game of Thrones is quite the dedication. So I have a friend that I am watching that with, who I definitely wouldn't have wanted to start Game of Thrones by myself, but I have a friend who knows anything and everything about Game of Thrones. Who's read all is going on and you can ask lots of questions. So I'm keeping up with Loki every week, American Dad every week. I am every week watching a few episodes of Game of Thrones. Just a few. I don't really like watching it by myself. I like watching it with someone else. What did I finish? I watched, I'm trying to, I'm always rewatching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm always rewatching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm always rewatching Once Upon a Time and The Vampire Diaries. Those are, and Monk. Those are kind of my comfy rewatches right now that I'm rewatching. So those are my rewatches. I've watched all those shows all the way through many of times. What else? I am also trying to watch, I'm going in and out of watching Archer, which is so funny. So I really enjoy Archer, and I'm also watching Modoc, which was really funny. Modoc was good. Modoc was good. Modoc was good. So Modoc is a show that's on Hulu. It was a limited, or there's just one season out right now, and I thought that it was pretty good. I thought it had a good cast. And I enjoyed. It was a good watch. So Modoc is a villain. It's a villain in the Marvel comics and such, which, by the way, I don't know if many of you know this about me. I love reading comics. I really enjoy reading Superman comics, specifically. I don't think that many people know that I enjoy lots of Marvel stuff and fantasy shows, and like my dream is to go to Comic-Con. I would love to go to Comic-Con. That would be, oh my god, my everything. I know a lot of people that want to go to like Coachella and do things like that. And a bitch just wants to go to Comic-Con. That's it. I just want to go to Comic-Con. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to go. But the great thing about the pandemic is that all of these shows and such that normally do panels, they've been forced to do them virtually. So I've been able to enjoy a lot of virtual events and take advantage of that, which is really nice. So every week, again, I'm keeping up with Loki, American Dad. Oh, I'm catching up on the latest season of The Blacklist. I have like 6 episodes to rewatch. So those are all kind of current shows, but like at night shows that I'm just kind of turning on would be something like Ardell. Archer would be something like Archer, so it's not that I'm necessarily just needing to really stay awake and pay just really super close attention to it. But it is definitely up my alley. Definitely up my alley. And of course, I'm always watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm always watching it. I think it's just about the best comedy ever. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I love everyone on there. You can't beat Danny DeVito. You bird. You bird. You bitch. By the way, I hope we're also at that level with each other that when I'm talking about other ASMR artists, I'm like, these bitches. I hope you guys know that I mean, like, I may call you, like, hey bitch. I mean it in the most loving, friendly, like, we're on that level with one another. I don't mean it in a condescending, negative way by any means. I mean it in the most loving of friendship way. That is how I mean it. That is how I mean it. And it's just every other word out of my mouth. I do have quite a mouth on me. I do. I try and keep it under wraps. I try. But this is the way that I think about it. I do not like, well, I mean, who doesn't love to L? Who doesn't love to yell like fuck, right? Oh, we're gonna do fishbowl thing. See, because we have to for YouTube. I swear to you, on Patreon, I'm gonna do an entire video where we're gonna do cuss word trigger words, because I think they're so much fun to me. So growing up, I was allowed to say curse words, but if I did them in an accent, that was my mom's rule. We could never curse in anger. And I also still hold true to that. I mean, when I'm upset, who doesn't want to yell, right? But when I'm upset with someone, no. If we have some form of confrontation, I will not cuss at you. That is not, no. My communication skills are much better than that, and that's where I draw the line. I think curse words are meant to be in fun things that just make everyday life a lot more fun. And I'm not being sarcastic about that. Like, I love saying, I just do. Can't help it. I like using a lot of really fun words, but like I said, we could never use curse words in anger, ever. But my mom just thought, this is so silly. I know when you leave the house, you're going to be off with your friends in school, and you're going to go and probably cuss, whatever, use foul language. And the truth is that as a parent, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it behind your back, just not to you. She's like, so I don't understand why parents and kids are acting as if we don't see these words to each other. By the way, I guess I should say, I was a teenager when this was my rule growing up. This was as a teen. It's not like I was 6 years old. My mom would have never. My mom was the mom that played classical music, and like I wasn't even allowed to use coloring books because she wanted me to use my imagination. Like real I don't even know what you would call that. I suppose. I mean, anyways. So my mom was just like, this is ridiculous. Parents know that kids are probably gonna cuss. Kids know that parents probably cuss. You're just not doing it to each other's faces. There's no reason we should pretend in front of one another. Don't know. My mom always said, know your audience, know your time and place. You know, know your time and place, know your audience. We never do it out of anger, ever. She's like, and you can cuss, say what you want, as long as you're using an accent. So a lot of times I used good, sorry, my TV just went off. So I did lots of different fun accents, and that's how I got to use foul language growing up. That is how. So anyways, I'm not even gonna sit here and act. Oh, I never say no. Your mouth, your girl has a mouth on her. I enjoy it. I enjoy words of the such. It makes my everyday much more entertaining. Much more entertaining. And it makes shock value and many other things just so much more shock value. Which I say many of things for shock value. Many of things. I can't help it. Chelsea Handler and Adam Sandler raised me. In all seriousness, my dad is... I appreciate all of you that enjoy my sense of humor, but I seriously had no chance. My dad's hysterical, one of the funniest people I've ever met. Adam Sandler to a T. And my mom is Chelsea Handler, except she doesn't do all the nudity. Although I'm sure if she had a little more self-confidence than she would. But that's probably the only thing that holds the woman back. But they're both very, very funny people. And growing up, it was, and it still is, a lot of times the only ways that I feel connected to my parents is through their humor. And I've been through enough trauma and things within my lifetime that I have to laugh. I just have to. Even though if I find something really funny, I don't always outwardly laugh. Again, I just have a really good resting bitch face. And I'm just really dry, straight-faced. So even if I think something is hysterical, a lot of times I'm just straight-faced and I'm like, right. I mean, clearly, right? So I love comedies and stand-up and everything of the sort. I'm hoping to see Nikki Glaser while she's on tour out in the Bay. I'm hoping to, and Chelsea Handler. Chelsea's on tour now, and I am so excited. So excited. So I'm hoping to see those two girlies. I would love to. So I think that's kind of what I'm watching at the moment. I watched Underworld and The Hobbit last night. Underworld, The Hobbit, Mandalorian, and then American Dad. It was quite the combination. You know, we had to touch into the vampire roots